Welcome back, everybody. We are live on Fire Your MD Now Radio. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. Once again, it is Phillip Friday. Call-in line is 844-374-5433. Once again, 844-374-5433. Now, we had our Camrose Longevity meeting last night here in the central Alberta town of Camrose, and we had a lot of people show up, and Dr. Glidden had a webinar that was free to attend, and he texted me this morning. I'm just going to bring that up right now. I think we had it was just a crazy number of people that showed up for this. 682 attended, and there was 1,169 registered. Now, I remember when there was 12 people in the room on these things. This is blowing up. It's getting big, and there's people coming to my meeting that are recovering their health, and I don't get excited when somebody wins a Stanley Cup. It's because it doesn't matter, honestly. And you might think that sounds funny coming from a Canadian, but you know what? I don't care about that. But, man, when I see a little child that was sick get better, when I see a lady who was racked in pain for years all of a sudden smiling, got her sense of humor back, free of the prison of pain, well, that makes me want to jump out of my chair. It makes me really happy. And if you have never experienced that, I can't tell you. I mean, longevity works. These products work. It is all verified. It's perfect. You know what? I was going to yak a little bit about some articles I pulled up, but I think we're just going to take a call here. We got Charlene online. Charlene, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Charlene, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, thanks. I'll do better after I get through talking to you.
Well, that's the goal here. Lay it on me. What's going on?
Okay. What is your name?
This is Mike.
Okay, Mike. Hi.
I'm just filling in for Dr. Glidden today, but I'm a friend of his and a longevity distributor, and I have been able to use these products myself to help a lot of people get their health back. So let's see if we can change your life here, Charlene.
Okay. Well, I guess my most important thing is arthritis. My legs, I can't. They're not. I need to be strengthened so I can take a bath and get up by myself. If I kneel or something, I have to have someone lift me up. You know, like in a church or something like that, kneeling. At home, you know, I have to hang on to different things to push myself up.
Okay, so you got joint pain. You need strength.
Strength in my legs, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay, I'm going to raise you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm going to raise you. Bone and joint pain, more strength in the legs. Let's also, while we're at it, let's get your hormones working correctly. Let's get your thyroid working correctly. Let's make your eyes work correctly. Let's get your lungs functioning correctly. Because what we do here is we don't just target one thing. Okay, we don't just target one thing. This method is known as holistic, and that means the whole body. We're not satisfied with just getting you back from your joint pain. We want to get to the underlying condition, and the whole body works together. So, if you're ready, let's do this.
Okay, I'm on the products for quite a few months now.
Okay, how many?
Oh, a lot of them. I've got, the Killer Biology, Fucoid Z, Selenium, Multi-EFA, Enzyme, Sweeties, Daily, Ultimate Daily Flora, Meal Replacement, Beyond Oster FX, BPTT, and whatever else.
All right, how long have you been using the products?
For a couple months.
Okay, you got to give it some more time. You got
I have to know how to use them. I'd like to know how to use them.
Okay, now we're getting to the heart of the matter here. Okay,
yeah.
Now all of it is based on body weight. Okay? So for the glucose gel, are you using the capsules or the liquid?
Glucose, I can't have the fish.
Oh, you have a shellfish allergy.
That's why I have to take the Fluoride Z. That's what they told me.
Fucoid Z.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and Beyond Osteo FF, I take that one. I don't take the plus one.
How much do you weigh, ma'am?
I'm 140.
140 pounds. And so are you taking that Osteo FX appropriate for your body weight?
In the powder. I just take it once time. Sometimes I take it twice a day. Mostly once, like
you're gonna want 3 scoops a day of that Osteo FX.
Okay, 3 scoops a day. I'll put it down.
You're gonna want 3 scoops of the Tangy Tangerine per day.
3 scoops of the Tangy, really? BTT?
Yes, ma'am. It's how it works is it works on body weight. Okay, 100 pounds of human flesh needs 2 scoops of Beyond Tangy Tangerine, or the vitamins and minerals contained in it. Okay? So that's how it works. You're 140 pounds. I want to see you do 3 scoops of each of those per day. If you have a magic bullet or a blender, you want to throw that powered osteo in there.
Okay.
Makes it a lot easier to use.
Oh, I have the powder one. I'm going to get the liquid one next time I order.
Yeah, do that. And then you're going to be taking 3 ounces of that per day. All right? So
okay.
Try that. Okay, because the only time this doesn't work is if you're not absorbing it or you're not taking enough. One of the two. Are you following the 10 bad food list?
Sometimes, sometimes I'll have a dessert when I go out to eat because it looks so good.
Okay,
and,
you know what?
Coffee once in a while.
It looks good, but a lot of things that are poisonous do.
Okay.
Okay, we're not joking around when we tell you got to go gluten-free. It's an absolute fact. And if you expect to get your health back, you're going to have to do it, okay?
Okay, I will.
All right, Charlene, I want you to buckle down with that. Do you have the whole list?
Do I have the whole list of the 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't. Let's see wheat, barley, rye, oats, fried food, no oil in bottle on salad or cooking, no.
That's the list. Yep.
Meat,
absolutely. I want you to follow that like it's your new religion.
Can I have chicken? The roasted chicken. It's on that rotisserie.
Absolutely.
Can I have the skin?
You can eat 3 of them a day if you want.
Can I have the skin though?
Yes.
No, I can.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Wait, let me hear you one more time. I can eat the skin.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I heard before. Oh, I love that skin. Okay, great.
Okay, Charlene, I want you to try that and keep in touch with the show, all right?
Is that it?
Yep. For now. Do that and see what changes and call back.
Okay, I don't have to take any of the stuff for my kidney?
Well, you got to... your kidneys need the calcium. All the other stuff, you just take it as appropriate to body weight. What it says on the bottle.
What about multi-EFA?
What's that?
What about the multi-EFA? And the selenium?
EFAs, I take about 15 of them a day. If I was you at your weight, I'd take three times a day.
I do.
Okay, keep doing it.
I do 2 times a day. Yeah, three of them. Okay. And what about selenium?
Selenium, I would do at least about 600 micrograms a day, so you're going to take about 6.
6 a day. Okay,
yep.
3, 6. Okay, Forticoid Z. Fucoid, what do you call it?
Fucoid Z, about 3 of them a day.
3 a day. Okay, thank you. And one more thing, killer biotic.
The killer biotic is to boost your immune system to kill the microplasms between your joints that are causing you pain. So you're going to have to use those. I would say if it was me, I would take about 5 a day.
Okay. And between meals, with all this is with meals or between?
With or without, you're good. But just don't eat anything with phytates in it because they'll grab that stuff and pull it right out of you. So
don't eat any what?
Don't eat rice or spinach or nuts when you're taking your vitamins.
Really?
Absolutely.
Oh, my God. Don't eat any of that when I'm taking my vitamins. Wow.
I'm as serious as a heart attack. They contain what's called a phytate, and that'll bind with a vitamin and mineral and it'll suck it right out of you so you won't absorb it. They don't hurt you in and of themselves, but they will inhibit your ability to absorb those vitamins. So, yeah, those 3 things for sure.
Oh, okay. What about enzymes?
Take the enzymes about 10 minutes before you eat.
I do.
Good.
15. How many? 1 and 2?
I would do about 1 or 2 before you eat.
1 or 2, and then after 2 of them also, right?
I wouldn't do any after.
No? Oh,
Nope.
well, thanks. I like that.
Okay.
Sweeties. Few more things. Sweeties.
Do you have blood sugar issues?
No, I don't know if I do or not.
Okay, well, you're not gonna if you take these sweeties, so take 1 of them 3 times a day.
Okay, and daily, Ultimate Daily, I don't like those. I get a headache from them. I was taking 6 a day.
I would keep that up. That's for your arteries and veins and your circulatory system, based on my understanding.
And kidneys, right? How
Yep.
many of those daily? 1, 3 times a day?
I would keep doing what you're doing.
I can't. It's too much for me. I get
Okay,
headaches.
well then, yeah, if you can't, then cut it back to 1 3 times a day.
Okay.
They're
and
pretty big
Flora.
pills, aren't they?
I like them. They're tasty.
All
taste
right,
like
listen, Charlene, I have to let you go. We got other calls we're going to go to, but keep in touch with the show and let us know how you're
one
doing,
more.
okay?
How about the Flora?
Oh, the gut flora, yeah, 3 per day.
3 per day. Okay, hon. Thanks so much. I'll call you when I feel better. For 2 weeks,
I'm
keep this
looking
up.
forward to hearing it, Charlene.
Keep up for 2 weeks this year, or a month.
I'll keep doing that until the day you die. You'll be able to drop a few things once you get back on track with your health, like the killer biotic.
Yeah.
You can
What
use
about
that for about probably 3 to 4 months before you see a difference, and then you can scale back from there. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. I hear the music, and that means we are going to a break. We'll be back live after this. Let's go over to Lisa in Texas. Lisa, are you there, and can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here. I went to the doctor, and I'm having a problem with uterine fibroids and fibrocystic breast, and they're wanting to do surgery, and I don't want the surgery.
I don't blame you. I wouldn't want the surgery either. So here's what you're going to have to do. Let's talk a little bit first. How did you hear about this show?
On your website.
Fire Your MD Now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Lisa, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to strengthen your body and get it firing on all levels. And once you do that, it will take care of these problems, okay? I know people in my life that have gotten that same surgery, and they kept having problems. And then when they got on board with the longevity, they never had any of those problems again. So that underlying condition that's causing them is going to cause other problems in your body. So let's get on top of it. And what I'm going to do, first of all, do you have a pen?
I do.
Okay, I want you to write down this phone number. It's 1-800-705-6892. That's 1-800-705-6892. You got that?
I got it.
All right, Lisa. Now let's get into it. You've got these problems happening. How much do you weigh, Lisa?
112.
112 pounds? All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to take 1 healthy brain and heart pack. Write that down. 1 healthy brain and heart pack.
And hard pack, okay?
Yep. And tell that to the person on the phone when you call that number. And also, I would add to that Z-Radical as much as you can afford. Hang on, Lisa. We're going to come back to you. I hear the music. That means we're going to a break. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. We'll be back after this. Welcome back. We are live. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden on this Friday, May the 9th, 2014. and it's the most beautiful day I can remember in a long time here in central Alberta. The grass is turning a lush green. I put out my Bloomin' Minerals that I got through Longevity, and I tell you, we had spots on our lawn last year that hadn't filled in about 10 years, completely overgrown using the Bloomin' Minerals. Now, we were talking to Lisa before the break. Lisa, are you still there?
I'm here.
Okay, before we lost you during the break there. I'm glad you called back in. Good job.
Thanks.
So we were talking about Z Radical. I want you to take one Healthy Brain and Heart pack. And Z Radical, as much as you can afford, it's about $30 for a bottle. But if you can get about two of those down per month, that would be a really good thing. That's what I would do if I was in your situation. And the key ingredient in that Z Radical is the fucoidan. And fucoidan is a major cancer fighter, okay? Growths,
Awesome.
yeah, absolutely. So what part of Texas are you in, Lisa?
Dallas.
Dallas, Texas. You know what? I have worked on a ton of equipment, well, several tons of equipment headed for Dallas and outlying areas. There's kind of a kinship between Alberta and Texas because we drill our oil up here, and it's served us well over the last few years. So, okay, now you've got this Healthy Brain and Heart pack. Once you get it, I want you to take 2 scoops of the Beyond Tangy Tangerine per day. Okay? And I want you to, when you call that number, I want you to specify that you want the liquid Beyond Osteo FX. All right? Liquid Beyond Osteo FX, and you're going to take 2 ounces of that per day.
Okay.
You can mix this all together and just drink it slowly over the course of the day. All right? Now, there's going to be a bottle of EFA Plus. EFA Plus. And I want you to take 2 of those 3 times per day. All right?
Okay.
Now, the fucoidan, nobody knows how much is, I mean, it's just dynamite stuff. So if you can get about 2 bottles, that'll serve you well, and do about 4 ounces per day of that. And if you add that in with your Tangy Tangerine and your Beyond Osteo FX, it'll taste great. And what'll happen is you'll start noticing differences in your mood, your sleep, your energy levels. Some people, it takes a month. Some people, like with me, I started on just the Tangy Tangerine, and my energy level exploded in about a week.
That's awesome. I have one other question for you. I'm also a vegan. Do I need to switch?
You know what? Okay, this is my opinion. Vegans need to switch yesterday. Like,
can you believe I'm in Dallas and I don't eat meat?
yeah, that's almost like being Alberta. We're pretty proud of our beef up here too. Well, and like, you need those proteins. You need cholesterol, Lisa. I would heavily advocate switching from a vegan diet. I heard Dr. Glidden talking one time. He was telling me that he went to a vegan meeting, and they were the most unhealthiest looking people he ever saw in his life. Now, there's a few things you're going to have to do with this, okay? Speaking of dietary changes, I want you to get the 10 bad food list. Have you gotten that yet?
I did set up for the email on the website, and so I do have that list.
Good.
And just to note, I am not an unhealthy-looking vegan. I look good.
Oh, on behalf of good-looking people everywhere, good for you. Because I do too. Right on, Lisa. Good call. And you know what? If I was you, I would eat like 5 eggs a day. Okay, you need that cholesterol, right? Your brain, your immune system. there's your hormones. So much has to do with cholesterol. Cholesterol is so important. Your liver actually makes it. But if you can get more in, then that's a good thing too. This is counterintuitive to what your doctor always tells you, right?
It definitely is. What type of eggs? Would I just do hormone-free eggs or something like that? Or
Sure, yeah, just eggs. If you want to get duck eggs, they're great. If you want to go to Whole Foods and get the free range, no chemical chicken eggs, do that. But I want you to prepare them in such a way so that the yolk doesn't get too hard. Okay, you want that yolk nice and soft. If it's getting like it's yellowing and it's hard, then you're damaging the cholesterol. Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, definitely. Well, I converted a vegan today. I'm pretty happy with myself.
It's all about my health,
All right, Lisa, I'm going to let you go. You keep in touch with the show, all right, and let me know how you're doing.
I'll do it. Thanks so much for your help.
Call that number. I'm going to let you go. Thanks, Lisa. We're going to hop over to Dawn in Florida, right next to Texas. Dawn, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi there, Dawn. What's on your mind today?
Oh, thank you for doing what you do. I have two questions. The first one, a friend of mine was diagnosed with osteoporosis. So I encouraged her to start taking some of the longevity products. So she came over, and we filled out a health questionnaire just to make sure we're going to get her the right stuff. Well, to my surprise, she had like a perfect score on the hard tissue category. Like nothing wrong with her in the hard tissue category.
But she has osteoporosis.
Her doctor said she had osteoporosis.
Yeah.
So is it possible that the bone density test is incorrect and that the doctor just told her that? Or
is it possible that her doctor's an idiot?
That's what I'm thinking, But
well,
my question is
how long has she been going to him?
For years.
And nothing's getting better.
Yeah, nothing's getting better. I mean, she's very healthy, actually. She just says she has osteoporosis. So I actually sold her, and now I'm getting second thoughts. I sold her the Healthy Bone, I sold her the Healthy Start Pack with the glucogel.
The liquid or the
capsule?
capsule?
But now I'm wondering if that was a mistake.
Well, here's the deal. Like, how much does she weigh?
She only weighs about 90 pounds.
Okay, then
she's one of the healthiest 70-year-olds I've ever known.
That's awesome. Yeah, okay, so here's the deal. A Healthy Bone and Joint Pack is just a Healthy Start Pack with the glucogel added.
Right. And
so
I didn't get her the CM cream.
And also it's got the CM cream.
Right, she's not in pain. So
she's not in pain and they're telling her she has osteoporosis?
Yeah, and so I'm wondering if, I don't know, I'm just stumped, and so I don't know.
You know what? Don't be stumped. Because, why would you want to be like your doctor? Or her doctor, right? So, it's simple. Everybody needs the Mighty 90 every day.
Right.
And there's no stumping about it. So, she's going to have to go back to him and say, I got a vision problem. I can't see you anymore.
Yeah.
Get her on the Mighty 90.
Yeah.
And if I was you, I would add some selenium to that.
Selenium?
And yeah, I would add 1 bottle of Ultimate Selenium per month. And you really can't go wrong with this.
Is the glucogel not necessary?
Well, not if she doesn't have any joint pain. It's not going to hurt.
Right.
But if she doesn't have any joint pain, why would she want to pay the extra money for something that's formulated to eliminate joint pain?
Exactly.
That's how I would look at it.
Should she request another bone density test?
Get another one?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, tell her to get 12 by next Wednesday. And the doctor that hasn't been helping her for years still won't, and the band played on.
Right.
So,
okay, one more question.
Yeah, okay, let's hear your second question.
One more question. A friend of mine is getting joint replacement surgery next month. I just found this out yesterday, and so I'm like, oh, no. So I went ahead and shared some information, and so now both her legs, they want to do surgery on both of her legs. She's only 40 years old. She's very active. So my question is, she obviously needs the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack. She's only about 130 pounds most. How much product should she take, just for her body weight, or should she take more because she's in
You know
so
what?
much?
I would go extra if I was this individual. Like, it's not going to hurt her to do a double dose, and if she's already at the point where she needs a replacement surgery, then
Okay.
like,
Not going to give her diarrhea or anything?
well, it might. It depends on how she goes about it. If it's giving her diarrhea, then she's gonna have, like, is she already? Have you talked to her about the 10 bad food list?
Not yet. I'm in the process of talking her out of getting surgery, and she's pretty much on board so far, but I wanted to double check to see, how much product she should take since it's so severe,
Yeah, if she can afford it and she is in a position to do it and she's listening to you, I would go ahead and double up on a Healthy Bone and Joint Pack. Why not?
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
All right.
It's not going to hurt. Like, in order for her to OD on any of this stuff, she'd have to take so much that she couldn't humanly possibly.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
Right.
anything extra she can get in, because she's definitely in trouble right now.
Right.
That much is obvious. So, yeah,
Okay.
that's what I would do. What part of Florida are you in?
Punta Gorda, Florida, Southwest.
Man, I wish I was in Florida. You know what? I'm in Canada, right?
Uh-huh.
And this was the most brutal winter. I had to thaw out my dog sleds outside of my igloo. And then there's the polar bears. I'm just kidding. It's not that bad. But, and like, everybody just gets in a bad mood when the weather won't let up.
Right.
You know what I mean? It just goes downhill from there. So, yeah,
Right.
Getting back to your friend, I would definitely recommend doubling up on it. It's not going to hurt her, and she's just going to feel good all around.
Right.
Because like I said, this is holistic. We want to make everything better, not just target one thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. I agree. Well, thanks for all you do. I appreciate it.
Well, let me ask you one more thing.
Yes.
What has it done for you?
Well, I've lost a little weight. I have a lot more energy. It stopped my gray hairs, from growing so quickly. It's improved my skin tone. For my husband's lost 20 pounds. The guys always lose more weight, which is not fair. He's lost
That
20
hasn't been
pounds.
my experience.
No?
No, I've seen women lose a lot of weight on these products.
Yeah, he lost 20 pounds. My husband used to have really hard calluses on the bottom of his feet.
And they're going
and they
away.
were so bad that when in bed he would literally stab me with his...
Gone in Florida, I'm glad you're
Yeah.
not getting stabbed with calluses anymore. We got to let you go. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. We'll be back after this. Welcome back. We're live. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden here on Fire Your MD Now Radio. Now, over in the news, Fox News is reporting on a study. Many people with gluten sensitivity have not had proper tests. People who believe they are sensitive to gluten have often not been adequately tested to rule out celiac disease, reports a new study. Now, it's not just celiac, okay? Gluten messes up so many things for such a large part of our population. I can't believe they're even having these studies anymore. Like, it's settled. It's not good for you. It's poison. It will kill you. Jessica R. I can't even pronounce that. Besikirski told Reuters Health that people with trouble digesting gluten who are not tested for celiac disease may not get proper treatment, which could lead to health problems down the line. Now, if you've ever listened to Dr. Joel Wallach's show, Dead Doctors Don't Lie, longest running health talk show in the history of the world, you're going to notice one thing. He always asks people if they have skin problems, rosacea, or anything else. What he's doing is he's looking for a gluten sensitivity. Okay? We have a problem with gluten in this world. We really do, and people need to understand that. I've talked to so many people who wanted to get their health back, but they couldn't get over the fact that they had to stop eating gluten. And it was a major stumbling block, and they're going to die because of it. If you want to get your health back, you're going to have to belly up to the table, so to speak. You're going to have to man up. You're going to have to be a smart mom. You're going to have to get off the gluten. It's that simple. And that's what we do here. We let people know why they're sick. If you're eating things that are gumming up the works all the time, don't expect to get better. It's the rare individual that can actually process that protein. It's really that simple. Melissa Melton, incidentally, over on nutritionalanarchy.com, did an excellent piece called Gluten, It's Not Just a Fad, It Can Wreck Your Life. And she knows what she's talking about. And here's the deal. There's pictures of her before she went gluten-free. Okay, there's pictures of her after. And she was kind of a butterball. She had skin problems. She had a zitty face. She went gluten-free and she dropped all the weight and she's a little cutie pie now. Good for you, Aaron Dykes. Aaron Dykes lost 97 pounds. 97 pounds using the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. That was the old formula. And I'm working on getting those two on the show. We've been in contact. And we're going to try and get that happening for you. Now, there's a study over on Global News. Let's switch over to cholesterol. Cholesterol-lowering drugs giving patients a license to pig out, says a study. 10 years of U.S. data suggests cholesterol-lowering statins are giving patients a license to pig out. Let's get into the reason in a little bit here and read on. Calorie and fat intake increased among statin users during the decade, an indication that many patients might be abandoning heart-healthy lifestyles and assuming that drugs alone will do the trick, the study author said. Nothing could be further from the truth. Nothing could be further from the truth. Here's the deal. You're taking these cholesterol-lowering drugs, and you're wanting more food because your body wants cholesterol. They said the goals of statin treatment should be to help patients achieve benefits unattainable by other methods, not to empower them to put butter on their steak. Well, another method might be included, you can put a gun to your head. We're going to go over to Mike in Tennessee after this hard break. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Mike Phillip Fridays on Fire Your MD Now Radio on the Genesis Communications Network. The call-in line is 844-374-5433. Once again, that's 844-374-5433. We got Mike in Tennessee. Mike, are you on the air? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, and I guess I am on the air if I can hear you. Anyway.
What's on your mind today, bro?
Well, I'm telling you, man, I just should have a program called Fire Your Government right now.
You already have that. It's called the Constitution.
Well, yeah, we have a Constitution, but it doesn't seem like anybody ever pays any attention to it anymore, especially the government.
You know what? I'm up here in Canada, and we got this big TV screen called the 49th Parallel, and I've got family in the States, so I pay close attention, and it doesn't look good.
Well, no, it's not good. It's a very bad situation. I'm telling you, I'm a vet myself, and there's so many horror stories out there, and it's where do you begin? I mean, there's individual cases. There's a lot of cases. For instance, the amount of homeless vets that are on the street right now in this country.
Go into that.
And it's years ago. I'm going to go back about 7 years when I was in Vegas, and I was going through a hard time, and it wasn't because I was down there gambling and lost all my money and didn't have anywhere to go. The problem was I just was in a bad situation. And I tried to get help through the VA when I was there, and could not get any help at all. And I was talking to one of the guys that worked at the VA in Vegas at the time, and he said, we would love to help you, but the problem is that just in Las Vegas alone, we have 5,000 homeless vets on the street.
5,000 vets on the streets. That's just in Vegas.
That was just in Vegas.
And Vegas isn't a really big city. Like it's what is it about 500,000?
Oh no, it's bigger than that. But that's beside the point. The point is that all these people now back before that, the government was talking about closing down military bases.
Yeah.
Now, why wouldn't they take those bases and make them fit so that these homeless vets could stay on those bases, so that they would have somewhere to be? That's just part of it, okay? And I mean, this goes on and on. That's a small number, actually. If you go to Southern California, there's many more homeless vets on the street. Now, the reason they say they're on the street is because they're doing drugs and they're alcoholics, and things like that. But I guess if you're over in a foreign country shooting people for some odd reason, who knows why? I mean, we all know Vietnam was a joke, and we shouldn't have been involved, which we shouldn't be involved in a lot of things, but that's our country. But again, in that situation, we're damned if we do and damned if we don't. If we don't help these countries, they lobby us to help. And then if we don't help them, then we're the bad guy. If we do help, well, of course, we're going to be the bad guy anyway, right?
Here's the deal. Smedley Butler, the most decorated Marine in history, wrote a book, and he said flat out, war is a racket. It's all it is.
Oh, it's all about money.
Yeah, money's the bottom line every time. Yeah, but they've got to convince the population into believing that it's for some altruistic, benevolent cause.
Yeah.
And in the meantime,
I don't want to get into a big rant. Here's an individual case that I have privy to that, and I won't say any names or anything because that's not it. It is important, but it's important that I don't.
Let's hear it.
I know a vet that served 28 years of his life in the United States military, and he has early onset Alzheimer's. He's not totally invalid. He's not a total invalid. He has some recognitive abilities, and if you go and talk to him, he can carry a conversation out. Now, I know what Alzheimer's is like because I have a mother who just passed away on that, and from that. And when she was in the nursing home with Alzheimer's, she didn't know anything. She had no idea where she was or who anybody else was around her. This person is not in that situation. Now, that being said, there are a couple of people that look after this gentleman for his daughter who lives in Pennsylvania, and she can't be down here. So the two people that look after her take care of him pretty good. And when they first met him, he was living in a house with a hole in the roof. The grass and weeds and everything had grown up around his house, and he had snakes in his house and rats, fleas, ticks. He didn't care. Okay, he got totally to the point where he didn't care. And so these people came in and started looking after him. They fixed up his home, helped him fix up his home. He lives in a really nice environment now. He's got a beautiful place to live, And now the government wants to put him in a home. They want to take him out of the situation. They want to take his money away. And I can't help but think that if this guy goes into a VA nursing home, they're going to drug him up. He's going to die. They're going to take his money. They're going to take his home. And the whole reason of it is that they don't want to pay the money out. They're looking for ways to cut money.
Oh, absolutely. It's a financial decision. There's an old saying, the last official act of any government is to loot its citizens.
Well, of course it is. And
that's what we're looking at.
Well, and the reason they're doing that is because they're in a bad situation. We've been the big brother to the entire world for too long. We're spending money. We're sending money out to all these countries. Nobody ever asks any of the citizens of the United States if they want to do this or if they just do it. And it's not their money. The government have no money unless the people pay them. The government has no money unless the people pay taxes. I'm not saying we shouldn't pay taxes, but those taxes are earmarked for taking care of roads. They're earmarked for taking care of us when we need it. They're not earmarked for taking care of Egypt or
is that happening?
Or any other country.
That's not happening, though.
Well, no, it's not happening because we keep sending money out to all these poor countries that can't seem to get their own act together, and we're supposed to be worried about them. And I mean,
well, but you got to look at it this way. Meanwhile, back at home, our boys are dying, right?
Well,
and everybody's getting sick. You know what? Let's talk about your friend here. He's got Alzheimer's, right? Now he's not. You know, you say your mom died of Alzheimer's, and she didn't know where she was. This guy's not at that point yet.
Oh, no, not at all.
But he's got these people looking after him. What if I told you there's a way that we could totally, like if this guy's not in the weeds yet, totally, we could head it off at the pass. If you're willing to work with those people that are looking after him, we could save this man. In my opinion,
I am working with those people actually.
Okay, good. Well, you know what? We want this guy to eat a lot of eggs. All right? A lot. Because your brain is made of cholesterol, and he's going to need essential amino and fatty acids.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this guy's going to need a healthy start pack, 1 per 100 pounds body weight. And if you guys can do this for him, you'll save his life. And the separate issue of what you're getting at is the VA and the amount of power and control that they have. And you know, out of one side, they're saying that they're there to help you. So, you know, be all that you can be. Go serve your country, and then you'll be taken care of for the rest of your life. But that promise is being reneged. and they're not helping their people at all. Last Friday, we did a segment. Anderson Cooper on CNN did a report that there was a VA hospital in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yes.
And they were keeping a double set of books and a double list of guys that they were just going to let die and guys that they were going to treat. Okay?
Yeah.
To look good. Because, the guys they were going to treat were the ones they were confident that they could help. And they got to go to their superiors and get funding for the next year. But here's the big, nasty, smelly joke. Even the guys they're going to treat, they're not even helping. And socialized health care does not. Tell me this. What have you heard about Obamacare where you're at in Tennessee there? Have you heard anybody talk about it?
Actually, nobody talks about it in Tennessee. Nobody wants it in Tennessee. Nobody wants it in the country. Now, I have something I need to say about Obamacare, which really blows me away.
Let's hear it.
They're so excited that they have 7 million people or say 8 million people signed up. Well, they're only signed up. They're not actually on Obamacare. And to get all excited about having 8 million people signed up on a health care situation
in a country of 300 million.
300 plus million people, they got 8 million. That's not even a drip in the ocean, baby. And I don't know why everybody, the Democrats are all beside themselves about this. And it's like, are you kidding me?
Good job, boys.
And it's just a joke. There's no reason for it whatsoever. And so the Obamacare situation is something that just needs to go away. In fact, Obama could go away; it would be fine. And that's the way they talk in Tennessee.
You've got the floor. I don't even want to interrupt. I want to let you talk.
they just. I'm waiting for you to see if you got any input. But the country itself has gone so far off kilter. I mean, I'm watching the news yesterday morning, and Michelle Obama's on the news with a sign, "Bring our girls home." Now, I feel bad for those girls in Africa that were kidnapped, but there are things that could have been done about that a long time ago, too, that is surfacing now with our wonderful former Secretary of State.
Well, wait a second. Child trafficking goes on every day worldwide.
Absolutely.
And now all of a sudden there's this big outrage over these girls in Nigeria.
It's because that many of them were taking at one specific time. Child trafficking goes on, absolutely, but it's not a matter of taking 279 girls out of school.
As long as Jerry Sandusky isn't doing it. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. We'll come back to you, Mike, after this break. We'll be back after this. 5,000 vets, the United States military, on the streets just in Las Vegas. That's just Vegas. And I pulled up the population. It's just over 500,000 people. That's not counting Chicago. That's not counting New York. That's not counting Los Angeles. And they tell you that if you go and get your limbs blown off for these foreign wars, when you come back, you and your family will be taken care of. Lies. We are on a crusade to help our countrymen get their health back. You, your wife, your daughter, your son, your niece, your nephew, your grandson, your granddaughter. Doesn't matter what it is. But there's a lot going on in the world today. We got Mike on the phone here from Tennessee. Mike, are you still there? Mike, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm
right
still
on.
here.
So where were we before we left off before the commercial break there?
We were talking about our government and what people think of Obama and Tennessee and Obamacare and all that.
Yeah, that's really interesting because here's the deal. I'm hosting this show from central Alberta up in Canada.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of media coverage of Obamacare and how it's going. And it looks like a complete disaster from here. But I still see mainstream media pushing it like it's some big success. And it looks like a joke to me. And I actually live in a place where we have institutionalized social health care, and it's a mess. But tell me what you've seen about Obamacare, your ideas as an American.
It's a mess in Canada, but it's worse than a mess here. Okay? You have how many millions of people in Canada? Okay?
We got about 35 million here. 50,
yeah, and how many millions of those people in Canada are middle-class people paying the bill? Okay? Now, when you come to the United States,
all of them.
Well, all of them, but none of the poor or rich. And it's kind of the same here. You know, you're expecting the middle class to carry the burden of health care for 300+ million people. Can't be done. It just can't be done. And I mean, the people that have lost their health insurance as opposed to the people that have gotten health insurance since the Obamacare debacle started is worse.
Yeah, well, and if you're a follower of this show, we've always advocated just getting accident insurance, right? Like if you get in a car accident or something, then
of course,
yeah, you should probably have some insurance for trauma. But as far as chronic disease goes, you know, I'm in Canada, and people around here are going to crap. That they're losing their health quickly, but they've got this vaunted Canadian free healthcare system. And then I hear the United States talking about going to the same thing. So, you know, it's like la-di-da. Good for you. You've got your free healthcare now.
Well, free doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's right. And the health care that you're going to get out of that If you're having trouble walking, there could be a key.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
The only thing that's free is the air you breathe. The only thing that is free is your life. That comes freely. Everything else you pay for. So, to give people the false hope that they're going to have this health care insurance that's going to help them and they'll be able to do it and they'll be able to afford it. Well, I don't know how many poor people have $5,000 that they can pay up front.
Listen, where I live in the province of Alberta, okay, the Alberta government pays $1.4 million per hour on treatments that don't help anybody get out of the weeds. So, the system that you guys...
I understand all that. But even if it did help medically, it still is not affordable by the government to do such a thing. They don't have the money. If the government of Canada and the United States as well would stop hospitals from overcharging, stop doctors from overcharging, stop people from overcharging hospitals and doctors, how much would insurance be?
Yeah, you're never going to get that because it's become an industry unto itself. There's too many people employed by it now.
But if the government wants people to have health care, the government should start regulating where regulations help instead of regulating where regulations don't help.
They should start with regulating themselves.
What?
They should start with regulating themselves. I hear the music. That means we got a commercial break. We'll come back to you after this, Mike. Welcome back to Fire Your MD Now Radio on the Genesis Communications Network. We are live. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. We're going to go back over to Mike in Tennessee. Before the break, we were talking about the medical industry becomes an industry unto its own. Once all that money is flowing in from the government, then new jobs are created to keep records and to do all kinds of things. And if you have socialized health care, it quickly degrades. This show is all about answers. We want to get people's health back. We don't want to use the same archaic, juvenile, and frankly retarded methods. I mean, chemotherapy, really? That's the best you got? Well, your best won't do. Mike in Tennessee, you're still there.
Yes, I'm here.
All right, well, I want to hear what you have to say. Get back into it.
Okay, well, I just, I'm a sad person about my country. I really honestly am. The United States, I lived outside of the country for a while, and the United States to me was one of the greatest countries on the planet, and I had great respect for it, its people, its government, and all those things. Now, those may be misguided from when I was young or not. I don't know. The point is that now that we're where we are, it's depressing. It's sad. It's sad that we have a government that doesn't care about the people that it governs. It's sad when you have a member in government in the United States saying we're a nation of laws, not a nation of people. Mr. Reed knows who I'm talking about. And so, we have to be a country of people again. And it's really important for the people of this country to realize that if they don't change their own personal attitude, each individual person, and I sit and talk to people every day in the United States and in Tennessee, and I've been around the country quite a bit, and I've talked to people all over the country, and every one of them says, well, I don't know what the answer is, or I don't know what to do. That's a lie. You do know what the answer is. You do know what to do. If each and every individual person who is an American citizen who wants to see this country prospers, who wants us to see have a good health care system and a government that cares, you have to make a decision that you're going to stand up for what's right. And what's right is not paying money to a government that doesn't care about its citizens. You have to stop doing that, first of all. That's not an easy thing to do, but it is, because you can't put 350 million people in jail. You can try, but it's pretty hard. They can't even round up 10 million people that are 20 million illegal immigrants that are in the country. So I don't know how they think they're going to put everybody in jail. All that aside, I just really honestly think it's extremely important for everybody in this country that's an American citizen to stop allowing these things to go on. And they do know what to do. Everybody in this country knows exactly what they have to do. It won't be
time to man
easy.
up, hey?
Well, it's time to man up, and I'm sorry.
Have you been watching the Clive and Bundy Ranch situation?
Yeah, I've been watching that.
You know what? I was so happy to see those guys on horseback with an American flag. Like I'm up here in Canada, and the rest of the world is really watching what's happening in the United States right now, and we're with you. We want to see you win. You know what I mean? We know that the people and the government are two separate entities. And you guys have got a fight on your hands, but, man, you did it before, you can do it again.
Well, the Civil War was a war that had to be fought, and unfortunately there's going to be another war just like it that'll have to be fought. And each and every American citizen is going to have to make a decision where they stand with this government or without this government.
Well, you know what? I'd rather not see it come to a war. If it does, so be it. But, I'm never an advocate for war in the first place. It's the worst possible place you can go. A lot of people get hurt. But, aside from that, we're at a war every single day, just in our daily lives. There's people dying all around us. We've got this so-called civil society, right? and
we're real civil.
We're real civil. We allow our children to die at the hands of professionals every day in this society. There was billboards around Chicago said hot dogs cause butt cancer.
Sure.
And but that's like the national food. You get your Frank at the ballpark.
Of course.
And at the same time, you've got these companies that are pumping you full of all these chemicals. And at the same time, nobody's nutrified. Nobody's getting the 90 essential minerals, vitamins, and amino and fatty acids that they need. And we're paying the price for our lack of intuition, our lack of... Your quality of life is going to be largely decided by the information that you choose to receive, because the well is thoroughly poisoned. There's a lot of bad information out there. And Americans are bombarded with it. You know, Canadians too, Australians, people in the UK. You're given a string of bad information from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. And you're seeing people break down all around you. You're seeing the vets being forced into the streets because they can't afford to live after they were told what a hero they would be. And you're right, it's a very sad situation. We got vets from the Canadian Army up here in Edmonton going to the food bank, living on base. So,
well, at least they can go to the food bank.
Yeah, well,
I don't even think they can do that down here.
At least that's there. Yeah,
because it's a really hard thing, because I mean it's one of those things where if you have no way of communicating, i.e. a computer or a phone or an address or any of those things, if you have a lack of ability to communicate with the government, and all of it is by computer.
You're persona non grata.
Yeah, you can't call the government anymore. You have to go online if you want to talk to the government. You have to go online if you want health care. You have to go online if you want this. Not everybody has a computer. I know that's a shock to the rest of the world, but not everybody has a computer.
Are you serious?
So, what? Yeah, I know. Get over it.
Wow.
So when all those people out there are told that, well, you have to get a hold of the government, you have to use your computer. Well, wait a second. I'm a disabled vet. I'm homeless. I don't have a computer. What do I do? Too bad.
Too bad.
That's the answer. Too bad.
Well, we got $50 million to give it to Israel every other day. We got $50 million to give to, states around Russia.
Yep.
But we can't help Detroit.
Where's that?
We got no money for the natives who have lost their culture in Canada here. And meanwhile, they're just siphoning it off the public and nothing's getting better. It's, we talk about MDs and money that's siphoned to them for treatments that don't work, but on a societal level, it's bigger than that. It's everything. Everything is a scam.
Well, sure it is.
And if you're relying on your Social Security, well, get another plan.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm a vet. I'm listed, considered a disabled vet. I have a really bad leg, and I have some problems in my body with arthritis and things like that. And so, I understand the mineral thing and all that because I have bought some of Dr. Glidden stuff, and yeah, it works good. But that's not going to help the mental stress that people have to put up when they try to deal with the government and they try to get their health care set up. It's just not going to help.
I disagree. I think that
it helps to have a sound mind. Okay, I'll give you that. It helps to have a sound mind. And
Absolutely.
If you're healthy, you have a sound mind and a sound body.
It's written into your Constitution. If the government isn't working for you, you have the right to kick it out.
Yes.
It's written into it. We don't have that here. But what we do have is common law. And a lot of people need to look into that.
Well, I hope they do, and I hope that all works out up there in Canada for that to happen. I just know what's going on down here in the States, and I realize since I've been living back in the States, it's an extremely dire situation for the American public. And if something is not done soon by the public themselves to stop this from happening, we all know how to do it. Just have to make a decision to take it in that direction. And I'm not advocating war either. That's not what I want. I'm not saying we should overthrow the government militarily or any of those ways. What needs to be done is the government has to be taken out. It's the only way it's going to happen.
Mike, that was a controversial call, and I appreciate for calling. We're going to let you go. And we don't cover things like this on this show all the time, but there's a lot of Americans out there that feel really, really alienated from their government. There's a lot of Canadians too. You give them your money. They tell you they're going to give you health care. They tell you they're going to give you this, that, and the other. And they don't deliver on any of it. And people are getting sick. There's been talk about putting statin drugs in water supplies. Well, I'll tell you what, if you put statin drugs in my water supply, I'm going to go from 10 to 20 eggs a day. 10 years of U.S. data suggests cholesterol-lowering statins are giving patients a license to peg out. Remember I was talking about this story just a little while ago. Calorie and fat intake increased among statin users during the decade, an indication that many patients might be abandoning heart-healthy lifestyles and assuming that drugs alone would do the trick. Study authors said, well, you know what? You're depriving people of what they need, and they're going and eating things that they need at the same time. So they're pigging out because they've got a cholesterol deficiency, But it's not because of your research, it's because they're wrong. Right? It's never you. It's never you. We got a clip about Canadian socialized health care, and it explains it pretty good. Let's roll that clip right now. All right, we don't have that ready. So they're giving you these statin drugs to lower your cholesterol, and meanwhile, Alzheimer's is getting worse all the time. Heart disease is getting worse all the time. They tell you not to eat salt. They tell you not to eat cholesterol. You're getting sicker and sicker, and you're watching your parents die and your kids. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Fire Your MD Now Radio. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden on Friday, the 9th of May. There was a really interesting call that we just had there. You know, I'm up in Canada, and I watch the mainstream news. I don't watch TV. I watch it all online. But it's just awful. It's terrible. I research articles for this show on medical news. And you got to understand, I'm not a naturopath, right? I'm not a doctor. I'm just a guy who took in the right information, and I'm watching people get better all around me. But the situation with the media and government is not good. Our government up here in Canada promises us the best health care that money can buy. Therefore, they need more money all the time. And after a while, it becomes an industry unto itself. Again, guess who gets left behind? You. People dying in waiting rooms that don't get discovered for 6 hours. That happens in Canada all the time. Greatest healthcare system you could ever imagine on the face of the earth. That's what you're told. There was a time in this country when people couldn't even fathom a government-run healthcare system. Now, it is completely switched. Most people think it's part of their right as a human being to have free healthcare. Well, nothing's free. And it turns into crony capitalism after a while. The government gets in line with business. Remember, Benito Mussolini wrote a book. He said the classic definition of fascism is government and business, hand in glove. Well, that's what we have here for healthcare. And Winston Smith couldn't have put it better, calling Alberta Health Services the Ministry of Health. Because just like the Ministry of Truth was actually responsible for erasing history and putting out lies, or the Ministry of Peace was responsible for making war, the Ministry of Health is responsible for keeping you stupid and sick and under their jackboot. Face it, you're an ATM machine for the medical industry. Medical industry. An industry needs supply. You're the supply. You are a walking ham sandwich for the medical industry. It's that simple. You want to get your health back? You want to strengthen the people around you, your family, your community, your countrymen? I want to help you. I'm on a personal mission, and I got a team of people here that are willing to help as well. Get out a pen. 1-800-705-6892. 1-800-705-6892. Call that number, and you're going to have somebody on the other line that's interested in seeing you be all that you can be. 5,000 vets on the street just in Las Vegas. They say they care about you, hey? Nothing could be further from the truth. Nothing. They'll send you out to some fly-infested, God-forsaken corner of the world, and they'll tell you that that's a threat to your security. I live in Canada, and we were involved in the Afghanistan war there. And man, there's people in Edmonton an hour away that are a bigger threat to some goat herder than some goat herder in Afghanistan. Get your health back. Get back the health of your countrymen. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. God bless America. God bless Canada. God bless you.